So I would like to invite Dr. Sylvie Delpech for the next talk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Je vais reprendre le micro. Excusez-moi.
Non, je le garde.
Ah, vous le gardez. OK.
Avancer, reculer, laser. Parfait. Merci. So, firstly, I want to thank the organization of this conference to give me the opportunity to do this talk today. So I will present some results about aqueous and pyrochemical reprocessing of thorium fuel. So there are two kinds of nuclear fuel based on thorium, which can be, which are currently studied for development of future concept of nuclear reactors. So, in one side we have a liquid fuel, which is the molten salt reactor, and the solid form of thorium in liquid fuel is thorium fluoride. In the other side, we have the solid fuel, thorium oxide, which is dedicated for more classical reactor concept. I think that whatever the reactor concept, reprocessing is absolutely essential, because to have a sustainable energy, because it is the only way to do the recovery of the fissile material. And the need of resources currently is a need of fissile material more than fertile material. So in this case, with the thorium-232, we have to do the recovery of uranium-233. Another point concerning the reprocessing concerns the separation of fission products and minor actinides. I think that is a point very interesting, because in this way we can, if we do this separation, we can imagine to put only fission products in a waste storage, and then we can strongly decrease the waste toxicity. And for public, it's a very important point. Concerning the liquid fuel, the fact to use a liquid fuel is very interesting, because we can improve the reactor operation, because we can do some action on the liquid fuel, such as extraction of gaseous fission products directly in the core. We can also control the redox potential of the salt and control the ratio of fertile over fissile material. So during my talk, I will it will be divided in two parts. I will present pyrochemical treatment and aqueous treatment. But aqueous treatment, you had just before a very good talk, and mine is not so detailed. Concerning pyrochemical treatment, when we use a liquid fuel, it is obvious that pyrochemical treatment is it is an evidence. So I will present now the pyrochemical treatment. Concerning aqueous treatment, as it was told just before, many processes have already been developed. So they are generally similar to Purex process. So we have Torex and some other aqueous treatment. So I will just give some detail at the end of this talk. So concerning pyrochemical reprocessing, we did a lot of improvement these last years, because we work in the frame of the European EVOL project. And so we have here all the different steps of the pyrochemical reprocessing in the case of the molten salt fast reactor. So molten salt fast reactor was briefly described yesterday by Paul Madden and will be detailed tomorrow by Elsa Merlucot. So it is a reactor concept, molten salt reactor concept, which was developed by CNRS a few years ago. And we have working on the pyrochemical reprocessing. So on this slide, we have the different steps. And I think that almost all the techniques which are available in molten salt to do separation of elements are involved in this scheme. So all these steps are based were proposed based on the activity, on the acidity and basic properties and redox properties of the different elements which are present in the reactor core. The reprocessing is divided in two parts. We have one part which is online reprocessing. So it is this part. We have here the core. So the core in MSFR is constituted of a molten salt which lithium fluoride, thorium fluoride, and uranium fluoride. So we are going to inject in this liquid fuel helium gas, which is going to remove the gaseous fission products, xenon, krypton, and by a flotation process, some noble metals will be also removed from the salt. The second part, in the right part of the reprocessing, we have several steps, and these steps are it is an offline reprocessing, so we are going to remove a given volume every day. About 40 liters by day is removed from the core to be treated in a given facility just close to the reactor. So the first step consists in fluorination. So we are going to inject in the salt gas, fluorine gas. Fluorine gas has a very high power of oxidation, and we are going to oxidize all the elements at their highest oxidation state. And we are, by this way, oxidize uranium to UF6 and so on. And in this case, some elements are on the gaseous state, so they are going to be removed naturally from the salt, and after they are adsorbed on different traps and separated. When we do the separation, the actinides, which will be extracted by fluorination, will be put back in the core. And uranium, we are going to put a part of uranium in the core, but also we are going to store a part of uranium to start other molten salt reactor later. After, we have the salt, which contains again actinides and lanthanides, essentially. So the actinides and lanthanides will be removed from the salt by a reductive extraction. Reductive extraction is a technique which consists to contact the salt with a liquid metal. And the liquid metal contains a reductive species, which is lithium, and we will have a transfer of actinides and lanthanides from the salt to the liquid metal. After step 3, we are going to treat the lanthanides. So we are going to do the precipitation of lanthanides and put it in the waste. And here in this step, we are going to do the back extraction of actinides, which are in the liquid metal. So the actinides in the liquid metal are going to be transferred in the lithium thorium fluoride, which is now very clean. And we are going to do some control of the redox potential and uranium amount and put back in the core. And this step here is quite important because during this step, we are going to do the recovery of salt and metallic phases, because the composition of the salt during all these steps, 2 and 3, has changed, has been modified. So we have not a good balance of the reprocessing. So we need to do this step to do to recover the composition of the phases. So currently, I want to explain what experiments are done. It is not only paper. So here, in this case, helium bubbling is currently studied in Grenoble, in the LPSC. So a loop is under construction to study helium bubbling and the removal of noble metals. This part, fluorination, is not currently studied because we have a big experimental feedback from the Oak Ridge National Laboratory and a lot of results which can be used. So we do not consider that it was of main interest to do a fluorination loop. The steps of reductive extraction and back extraction and precipitation of lanthanides are currently studied. So we did experimental of this step, reductive extraction, back extraction, precipitation, and the recovery of salt. Which is also studied is this part, the control of the redox potential in the molten salt. During the EVOL project, we work on this table. That is one result of the project. So I have summarized in this table. We have here in the left, the column left, we have all the elements. So we have 3 tables like that, 3 slides. We have all the elements which are present in the reactor core, which are produced by the fission reaction. And one question was, what is the form, the chemical form of these elements, and what is their physical state when they are produced in the salt? So we have a liquid fuel, and this liquid fuel has a redox potential value, which is controlled by the ratio uranium-4 over uranium-3. And this ratio leads to a redox potential about close to -3 volt. So when we combine this data with the thermodynamical data of all the elements present in the salt, we can have a good idea of the state of the element when it is produced by the fission reaction. So this work is not finished. It is always in progress, but we have now a good idea of the form of the chemical form of the elements and its physical state. When we know that, we can imagine what can be the technique to remove this element from the salt. So it can be reductive extraction, fluorination, and so on. So for each element, we can attribute a separation technique. So here we see that we have no data, no thermodynamical data concerning these elements, so we have no informations. We observe that some elements are produced at a metallic state, but in this case, at this temperature, they are on the liquid state. So they can react with the structural material, and particularly with nickel. And we can see that for some elements we have not concluded yet concerning the technique to extract them. And so it is just to summarize the advance of our work on this problematic. We have to know exactly what will happen when we do the extraction by helium, the fluorination, or the reductive extraction. So for each element, we have to know what you will do during all the reprocessing scheme. So to conclude, concerning the pyrochemical reprocessing for the molten salt fast reactor, during these last years, we proposed a complete reprocessing scheme. We did the identification for each element, more or less. We have not quite finished, but more or less, of an appropriate extraction method. We have identified some missing data. So to know this data, we require to do some experimental determination. And what I forget to say is that we would like to add a column there to indicate what is the efficiency of the extraction for each element. So that will be done very soon. And also we had to develop an experimental device to test all the reprocessing steps, and particularly the reductive extraction. So now concerning aqueous treatment, it will be more shorter. So we have the Torex process, which is the base of aqueous treatment. So it is very similar to Purex process. We have first a dissolution in nitric acid, but nitric acid is not sufficient to do the dissolution, so we have to add fluoridic acid, and also to limit the corrosion, aluminum nitrate is also added. After, we have co-extraction by a liquid extraction of thorium and uranium with high concentration of TBP in dodecan. And after, the back extraction is selective, so we are going to extract first thorium and uranium in the second way. Interim 23 process, I thought it was written by India, but I am not sure. I have seen the previous presentation, and but I have that in my bibliography. So we have a dissolution with nitric acid and extraction only of uranium with TBP 5%. But in this case, thorium is not extracted in the solvent, in the organic solvent, and it stays in the aqueous solution. So what are the drawbacks? Dissolution. So concerning the dissolution, it was mentioned just before. So the dissolution time in boiling conditions is very long, and the boiling conditions, and we have also a concentration of nitric acid very high, more than 10 molar. So it's very acid. So the time of dissolution is very long, and the solution, of course, is very corrosive. So it needs the use of special steels and addition of aluminium. Even if we have a very drastic conditions, we have only a partial dissolution of oxide, and sometimes we can have residues. And we have seen just before the dissolution of the zircaloy clad, but what is the impact on the liquid extraction and the fabrication of new fuel? Concerning liquid extraction, if we have a too high concentration of thorium in the aqueous solution, in this case we can have, due to the low solubility of thorium TBP in the organic solvent, we can have formation of a third phase. So we need to decrease the concentration of thorium in the aqueous phase before doing the liquid extraction. Also, we have formation of slag due to thorium DBP complex, which are very stable in organic phase. And if they are very stable in the organic phase, it will be very difficult to do the back extraction and to transfer thorium to an aqueous phase. So, what are the research and development we do currently about these different drawbacks, so issues? So dissolution, we try now to combine physical and chemical techniques to improve the dissolution process, so with sonochemistry or electrochemistry. We know also that it can be an impact of the fuel fabrication techniques and microstructure on the dissolution process. So if we can improve this part of the fabrication of the fuel, maybe with addition of some elements such as magnesium oxide, we can imagine that the dissolution will be improved. Concerning the extraction, we can study alternative of extractive molecules such as monoamide, which have been proposed. Or maybe, because I like molten salt, pyrochemical treatment for solid oxide fuel, but it will be, I think it will be more difficult. But in this way, we can do the valorization of the knowledge we had on the thorium chemistry in molten salt at high temperature. And to finish, I want to show you a scheme. Maybe it is not very realistic, but maybe it is innovation. I don't know. So, if we have a thorium oxide mineral, So we have two ways, as I said at the beginning of this talk. So we have oxide, it is a solid fuel, and by hydrofluorination we are going to produce thorium fluoride, uranium fluoride, and lithium fluoride, and we have the liquid fuel. But we can imagine that this hydrofluorination can be done here. So after, when the solid fuel here is used, and do the hydrofluorination, and we have at this moment a liquid fuel which will be more or less the same as this one, and so then we can do the pyrochemical treatment I have described before. So I want to thank CNRS, and particularly the national programs PATCHEN and NEEDS, Euratom, Rhodia, and now Solvay, and Areva for their financial support, and you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Delpech, for this interesting talk. So the floor is open for discussion. Yes.
Hello. Have you made any evaluation of the engineering challenges of having a pyroprocessing cell in proximity to the core of the reactor in an MSFR?
If we have the two facilities close
together and within the same area of the reactor,
I think it will be better if it is in the same area, because we have no transport of materials, because we have 40 liters per day, so we have to transport the fuel. And I think that is, for me, that is not a problem, but we need a very big place. Yes, but I don't know, I didn't measure the...
Thank you. Next question.
No, what is changing is pyrochemical processes is basically a liquid extraction you are using for the separation of actinides and lanthanides. My first question is, this similar project, pyrochemical process, has been done at Mercury plant of CEA under your European project, Framework 7, which is called an ACCEPT project. This is now you are coming up with a similar work under another project is EVOLVE. So how the similar type of work is done under the two different projects under the European Union?
Okay, so ACCEPT project is a project with, there were two reprocessing schemes which were studied, fluoride and chloride molten salt. So it's quite different. And the fluoride, in fluoride molten salt, the objective, it was, I remember well, we had metallic fuel. So it was quite different.
They're using oxide fuel.
Oxide?
Because CEA is, France is not going for the metallic fuel. They're going for this oxide in the fast reactor. They are,
yes, but they do the electroreduction of uranium.
This is liquid extraction. This is a similar process.
It is liquid extraction with aluminium.
Huh? Yes, that is aluminium because of separation efficiency. Aluminium they're using because of separation efficiency is better in aluminium.
And the salt was lithium aluminium fluoride.
Yes, that's okay.
But here the salt is lithium thorium fluoride. It is not the same salt. Okay. So the difference between the two projects is EVOLVE project is only dedicated to molten salt fluoride reactor. So we need a reprocessing scheme corresponding with the salt, with the liquid fuel salt. You understand? If we have no thorium, it is quite different. I can use FlyNac and I can do another reprocessing scheme.
Thank you. Next question after Hamid. So.
Yeah, I wanted just to know if you have the minor actinide separated individually, the question that Luc was asking, or you are going to separate them in a group, or you can do both?
Currently, we consider that we are going to separate him in a group, them in a group, yes. But maybe, I know the problem with curium, but maybe we can do the separation, but I'm not sure it will be necessary. It will be one more step, and so.
But
your system group the actinide.
Okay, I had a question. I didn't see the protactinium in your flow sheet, so how is it dealt with? Do you have a particular
Yes, I put it in the
in the table, but not in the flow diagram?
No, not in the flow, because in the flow, I think that protactinium, if it is possible, the easiest solution is to wait. To wait, it decreases, and after we do the reprocessing with fluorination to extract uranium.
So that was my. So the next question. So actually, you will be reprocessing by batch.
Yes.
So you will have a certain dwell time or cooling period for which
I hope
before
that.
Okay.
I hope that we can wait and do the reprocessing 3 months later, in fact. But we can also imagine to extract the protactinium, wait, and do the rest of the reprocessing without protactinium, because it's a problem.
Okay. Thank you. Is there any question? If not, thank you again, Sylvie.